Hey, Shalom, Marcus, Rakam, Makapash, and Jimmy Slonny, giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, V'chachadash. I want to give double honors to the elders, the apostles of GMS, and Shalom out there to the hope for elect, pushing his truth and all sincerity. Back again with another video. Right, I'm got an article here from the RT, right? And it reads here, it says, Chinese embassy points to real threat to the world, right? And basically, it's a bunch of shit shoveling on America, man. You know, Chinese America out here pointing fingers at everybody else like they're the problems in the world, man. But China posted something up, you know, put out some information out there showing you, man, that the real threat to the world, the people, the nation causing the most problems on this planet is America, man. Okay, beginning with these Edomites, okay, and yeah, they were sending shots at America, man. So I should read a little bit of this, and we're gonna prove it in the scriptures. All right. So the Chinese embassy in Russia has shared a list of US bombings and invasions since World War II. This is Chinese diplomats have published a list of US military adventures in recent decades, arguing that Washington was the real threat to the world, as the EU, the US, and the UK, NATO, and the UN chief have all accused Moscow of an unprovoked attack on Ukraine. The Chinese embassy in Russia on Saturday reposted an image originally shared by Chinese Foreign Minister spokesperson Li Jianzhao earlier this week, showcasing the United States Democracy World Tour. Democracy, right? Salvation, peace. That's what they create democracy with, man. If you ain't running a democracy, man, then you're being oppressed to them, according to them. So they got the right. Who gave them that right, I don't know, but they got the right to come in your countries and disturb your countries, man, and mess up your countries and change it. Put puppet leaders in there, destroy your nation, man, destroy your people, to implement, to put in democracy. That's that new that's that new religion, man, that America pushes, man, by the sword. All right. It says listing many of the incidences where the US had either bombed or invaded other countries since the end of the Second World War. When America came into that power seat, that super world power, man, because after the World War, there that was America's time to shine, right? All the other nations in Europe, they were jacked up pretty bad, and America became that focal point, man. Don't quote me, but I think that's around about the time it became the world reserve currency and things like that. It just took over, man. Right. While the rest of Europe was recovering, right? This is the image noted that these nations represented roughly 1/3 of the people on Earth. And he said, never forget, this is his quote, right? Never forget who's the real threat to the world. Right? Yeah. These Edomites beginning with America, man. They're the real threat to the world, man. They are. They just are, man. And, these men are putting out the evidences. Right? So the embassy added the same caption to its post, but in Russian. Right? Never forget who's the real threat to the world, right? And, oh, is he going to show me? Okay. Right? So here you see these men taking the piss. US bombing list, the Democracy World Tour, right? And look at all of that, right? These men haven't stopped. These men haven't stopped from war, right? They haven't stopped from war, and this is just modern day war. That's not even counting when these Edomites went over to the land of America. And we're butchering the natives, butchering the tribe of Gad, butchering the other tribes in the Americas. That's without all of that, right? These Edomites are always at war. They're always fighting. They got the military industrial complex live and kicking over there, man. That's their baby right there, man. That's their baby. But that's what America's brought into the world. in the guise of democracy, right? You got Korea, China, 1950 to 53, Guatemala, 1954, Indonesia, 1958, Cuba, 1959, 61, Guatemala again in the 60s, right? Congo in the 60s, Laos 70s, Vietnam in the 70s, Cambodia in the 70s, Guatemala in the 60s there. And the list goes on, man. I ain't gonna read them all, man. But, all the way up until what we got, Syria 2014 and 15, and America still ain't stopped, man. All these weaker nations that they're able to bully. Because that's what America is. America is just a bully, man. Right? You don't see no big nation there. I mean, what China was there in the 1950s when it was super weak. Things have changed a little bit since then. But these are like, what are you doing in these places, man? Picking on little guys, stealing their resources because it's easy. It's light work, That's what you've been doing. You ain't allowed no peace to be on this earth whatsoever. Right? But that's all prophecy. One guy quoted, I have one big issue with this bombing list. It may give people the false impression that USA retired from their world bombing tour in 2015, 7 years ago, and they haven't. It's business as usual, man. This is the thing. Okay, Esau has been given that sword, man. That is his blessing, right? And he uses it to the full effect. All right. So we're gonna go into scriptures now, right? I'm gonna start off here, Revelation chapter 6, verse 4, right? And they went out on horse, went out another horse that was red. Okay, this red horse represents Esau or Edom, because Edom means red, right? And we know that Isaac blessed Esau with the sword because he couldn't receive the blessing that would have been his if he hadn't sold it. That would have naturally come to the firstborn. But he was instead blessed with the sword. By the sword thou shalt live. That's what the scriptures say, right? And that is exactly how he lives. This is why that list is an extensive list, right? And it continues. This man's always killing somebody, always blowing somebody up, some other poor person's country, blowing their civilians up, blowing supposed enemy combatants up, destroying the land, stealing resources from those lands because they're not strong enough to keep them or whatever, right? So these men are just having, it's like a Black Friday every day for them. When they go out there, man, they beat some people up, right, and then take their shit. This is and power was given to him that sat thereon. Power, authority, right? America is the mightiest nation in the world, right? As they like to boast and brag about, right? But it's true. America is the strongest nation on the planet, right? And they have strong allies, okay, i.e. NATO, right? This is and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, right? The earth hasn't been in peace like under their rulership at all, ever. Even though they have all this great power and all this great knowledge and wisdom supposedly in this technology, they're never at peace. Because they talk about peace a lot, but they're rarely enacting it. The earth is always in a state of war, and they're always the ones perpetuating that war. With their different splinter cell groups in these different nations causing ruckus, man, paying people off. Funding warlords and all this kind of business. It's them. leaving them with tanks and shit. Like, come on, man. You believe that these men are just, self-made terrorists and all this business with anti-aircraft missiles and tanks and stuff. No, come on, man. They didn't leave that stuff there, man. It was a sale. It was given to them, and that's how these Black Ops work, man. These CIA agents and all that kind of stuff. That's what they've been who they've been doing deals with, man, to cause problems in different countries, man. Right. So anyway, it says take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another, and there was given unto him a great sword. Right. So out of all Esau's armory, the most feared one that he has is that nuclear weapon. Right. He is the originator of that technology. Right. Them and the Russians and that. Right. They were both Edomites. Right. And the world has followed suit. Some nations have got their nuclear abilities and that, but America by far, Russia by far, these Edomites by far own the bulk of them. As individual nations, man, more than anybody else, right? That's their great sword. Got the whole world on alert, right? With these weapons. All right. But he is here to take peace from the earth, man. And that's just an example of the fact that, this man don't do peace. He don't do peace. He talks about it like he's righteous, but he don't do peace, man. He's a liar, a hypocrite, and the devil. All right. Psalms 55 verse 21 says, the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war is in his heart. War is always in his heart, no matter what he's actually saying. He talk the nice things. Oh, we want to see peace in the region, and we want to see people liberated, and all these things that, yeah, they sound nice in the ear, but these men don't really care about that. There's always hidden agendas and motives why they're going into these different places to blow the shit out of it. The whole Ukraine-Russia situation, man, that was all that's all been built up because of the US and NATO, man. That's why the problem's occurring. Because there's an agenda afoot, man. They don't believe in peace. They want war, and they're bringing Russia to that war, right? As the scripture said they would. Right? So the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. And this is how Esau's dealt with everybody he's ever encountered, right? And like I said, I'll go back to the natives of America, man, the Gadites, okay, of the tribe of Israel, or how they went over there and, befriended them and then slaughtered them, to the point now, they're almost like an endangered species up there, man. They've been dwindled down, living on a reservation in their own land. What the American cavalry and all them men did was horrible, man. Right? And they stolen the land of America from the Gadites, But they befriended them. They did treaties, which they broke them all, right? His intention was never to be peaceable with these people, to be peaceable with the Gadites. Their plan was to usurp, to succeed and destroy, to steal from them. And that's what he does when he goes to any of these countries. That's what he does. All right. I want to get this from Daniel chapter 8, right? And I want to focus on verse 24. Though I know it's speaking about something else, but I can't remember the breakdown for it right this minute, so I'm not going to go into that, man. But I want to make a parallel example, out of this, right? So this is from Daniel chapter 8, verse 24. This is going into the speaking about the Grecians and that, when they came into power, right? According to the prophecies, right? So, but I want to here, verse 24 says this, right? It says, and his power shall be mighty, but not by his own power. Same thing today. Esau, okay, who are the Greeks, who are the Romans, right? This is all, another extension of the Roman Empire, right? Esau is in power again, right? It's not because it's not because he's mighty, right? It's not because of that. It's because the Most High have made him mighty, right? It's not because the Most High is using him to fulfill prophecy. That is it. This man, this devil, these Edomites are the wicked the Bible speaks about. All right? And the Most High has got them in power to fulfill prophecy. That's all it is. Because Esau, these so-called white people, man, they're inherently weak, right? They just talk a lot of, they just talk a good game, talk a lot of shit, right? But they're actually weaker than the rest of these nations, But anyway, it says, he shall destroy wonderfully and shall prosper, right? And that's how Esau got everything. He's going around taking, stealing, destroying all the nations in front of him, putting them in subjection, right? And practice and shall destroy the mighty and the holy people, right? Because we're through too. Okay, we're in captivity under his hand, right? Like I said, this is not speaking particularly about this moment in time. Okay, like I said, I need to go back through the breakdown of what what this is going into, but I was just making parallels with today. All right, because we're through in the land of Esau, in under Esau's kingdom, where our people are destroyed. Okay, and through his policy, also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand. Right, all this technology, right? His craft is creating all this technology, all these weapons, and the AI, the Internet of Things, and the MOTB, all this stuff that's being developed now. It's all prospering him, right? It's all fitting his agenda, right? It says, and it goes on to say, and he shall magnify himself in his heart, because Esau's great. He's hella proud, man. There's not a prouder man on the planet, or prouder race of people on the planet, because they're ruling, because they're on top. And they believe their gas. They believe the gas, man. They believe the hype, their own hype. Right? And they look down upon the other nations, man. American exceptionalism. Right? And that goes down into all these European countries. They all think they're better than one another anyway. But that pomp, the most pompous out of them was America, man. Because like I said, they're on top of the Edomite pile, right? It says, and by peace, okay, by them smooth words, by them buttery words, right, shall destroy many. Oh, we're here to help. No, you're not here to help. That's a lie. You ain't doing nothing to help. Okay, you only create more destruction. Right? That's what you do. That is your agenda, right? He shall also stand up against the prince of princes, but he shall be broken down without hand. Right? So like I said, this is going into something else, at this particular verse, but I'm just making those parallels, man, because Esau's doing the same thing. And he might even apply to today also, man. Like I said, I need to go back through it. But that's what's happening, man. That's what's happening right now. That's what he's been doing, right? This John 10 verse 10 says, the thief cometh not, but for to steal and to kill and to destroy. Okay, Esau is that great thief, man. Right? He's got a great judgment against him, man. Right? So I am come that I might have life and that they might have it more abundantly. Okay, that's our Lord. Right? But Esau, he ain't out here for no one's good, man. He's here to kill, to steal, and destroy. Because he is that red horse that taketh peace from the earth. It's Micah 2 verse 2 says, and they covet fields and take them by violence. Does it know what Esau's done? And houses and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage. Actually, I should have read up, man. I should start from the top, right? So woe to them that devise iniquity. That's what's on their mind, really. Even though they say a different thing, they talk about peace and happiness and prosperity and all this kind of stuff. They devise iniquity. They're plotting wickedness, man. So, and work evil on their beds, right? So it's just a big plan, right, that they've been trying to carry out or been carrying out, right? When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. They have the ability to do that. They've been put in a position where they can carry out their plans, man. As diabolical as they are, man, and people can't fathom it, But it's one big game that these men are running, and these people, they don't have a clue. They don't have a clue, man. They don't understand the game, the agenda, right? So therefore, thus saith the Lord, behold, against this family, this is talking about Esau, right? Do I devise an evil from which ye shall not remove your necks, neither shall ye go haughtily, for this time is evil. All right. This is Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 5. It says, start from verse 4. It says, behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. Okay, Esau don't have an upright soul. Right? He only imagineth wickedness, right? Yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man. Again, there's none prouder than Esau on the planet, right? It says, neither keepeth at home. Okay, his allotted land is the land of Edom, right? In the Middle East, right? But you're not going to find him there. You're going to find him around the rest of the globe in some form or manner, right? He you know, he's running over large continents and, you know, and or is controlling other nations with puppet leaders. You know, that's what he's doing, right? So you don't stay at home, right? It says, who enlargeth his desire as hell, right? He's a covetous bastard, man. And that's why he's a thief. He just wants to steal and take from everybody. You know, you will own nothing and be happy. That's what he's telling you, man. But he don't genuinely believe that you're going to be happy, because he knows you ain't going to be. But he is right in saying that you will own nothing, because that's what he wants to take everything from you, man. That you will be happy part is just, you know, to make you feel better. You know, but he knows you're going to be in torments, man. You're going to be in peril, right? It says, who enlargeth his desire is hell and is as death and cannot be satisfied. So no matter how much he takes, no matter how much he destroys, he will never be happy, because he's hollow inside, man. He's empty, right? He's missing something he cannot get by his own strength, right? He can't get what he's missing. Okay, that blessing belongs to Jacob, belongs to the children of Israel, right? And Esau can't receive that blessing. He can't have that. He can't have the kingdom of heaven. He can't have the everlasting kingdom. It doesn't belong to him, right? So he knows his fate is always to be destroyed, but he's desperately trying to fight that fate, you know. So yeah, he can't be satisfied, man. It's never gonna amount to the blessing. It never will. What we're gonna receive is gonna be so much greater than what Esau could ever imagine of achieving. You know, because it says, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. Right? It says, shall not all these take up a parable against him? All these people, right? And a taught in proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his. Okay, because you stole it. You murdered for it, you know, for it. You spilled blood for it. You enslaved people for it. You know, you're out here just doing the most, right? It says, how long? How long to what? How long until you're taken down? You know, how long until your judgment comes? So, and to him that ladeth himself with thick clay, okay, and that thick clay is that debt. And we all know America's heavily in debt. There's no possible way that they'd ever pay that off. You know? Right? So shall they not rise up suddenly that shall bite thee, and awake that shall vex thee, and thou shalt be for booties unto them. Right? That's why China's popping shit right now. You know? They're vexing you, man, because you know your history, man. You just try to hide it, man. But these men won't allow you to hide it. They're gonna point out all your hypocrisies, man. We're gonna point out your hypocrisies, you know, and condemn you in the spirit, right? Because at the end of the day, you are the wicked that's on the earth, more so than any of these other nations. Because you know these other nations, they're wicked too, man. But Esau's the wicked, with a capital D. He's the wicked, right? That the Bible speaks about, and he has a great judgment against him, man. He is the most proud. He's the one coming up against the Most High on so many levels, right? So he's gonna be the one that has that great fall, that great destruction, right? And you're gonna be destroyed, right? It says, verse 8, because thou hast spoiled many nations. This is why, right? All the remnant of the people shall spoil thee, right? You're gonna get destroyed. These nations that you're gonna go to war with, man, they're gonna get their victory over you, man. Even though they're not gonna get the overall victory, because they go into captivity, right? But you're gonna take a big L, man, right? And they're gonna play their part in it. This is because of men's blood and for the violence of the land, of the city, and of all that dwell therein. Woe to him woe to him that coveteth an evil covetousness to his house. Right, all this robbing and pillaging that you've been doing, man. You know, taking everybody's shit, man. That's put a curse upon you, man. Right, it's brought a curse upon your house, right? So that he may set his nest on high. This is why you've done it, to exalt yourself, right? As high as the eagle, as the scriptures say. Okay, which ironically is the American symbol, right? The bald eagle, right? It says that he may be delivered from the power of evil. Thou hast consulted shame to thy house by cutting off many people, and hast sinned against thy soul. As for the stone shall cry out of the wall, and the beam out of the timber shall answer it. Woe to him that buildeth a town with blood, and establisheth a city by iniquity. How did you establish America, man? Go on, tell us the history. Was it righteous? Was it righteous? You know? Was it peaceable? Right? Because you talk about peace. Was it godly? Was it peaceable? It wasn't none of those things, man. Like I said, you murdered our brothers over there in the land of Americas, man. And then you went on further to then enslave the Negroes, so-called Negroes out of the land of West Africa. Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, right? You enslaved us and brought us over that land to work for you, man. While abusing us, killing us, destroying us, man. So you spilt much blood to get your land of America, man, your golden city. A nation that is above all nations. You spilt a lot of blood for that. A lot of blood was shed. And a lot of blood must be repaid. All right? So I want from that. Okay, we're going to end it with this. This is Jeremiah 49, verse 15. It says, For lo, I will make thee small among the heathen and despised among men. Right? These other nations, they know your history, man. They know your dirt. They know your dirty laundry, man. And they're quite happy to air it out now. They're quite happy to air it out now. Because you've affected everybody on this planet. All these nations have come under your under your bullshit at some point, man. You've messed with everybody. They said that bombing list or whatever that accounted for like a third of all people on the planet. That's kind of crazy, right? In a peaceful time, right? Because after World War II, there ain't meant to be no conflict. It's meant to be settled, but nah, America gonna continue on with that in an era of peace, so called. It says yes, it says they made you small and despised among men. These nations hate you. These nations hate you, Edomites, man. Beginning with America, but in the rest of Europe, right? These other nations hate you because them nations that were getting smashed up, they weren't European countries, man. They weren't Edomite nations that were getting smashed up. Nah, it's all you other heathens, man. They were getting smashed up by Esau. That's what was going on. They already finished smashing each other up in the World War. It's your heathens' turn next, right? But they're despised among these other nations because of the way they go on and act and what they do. Right? It says, Thy terribleness have deceived thee, and the pride of thine heart, O thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, that holdest the height of the hill, though thou should make thy nest as high as the eagle, I will bring thee down from thence, saith the Lord. Right? So you're getting prepped and primed for your downfall. Alright, verse 17, Also Edom shall be a desolation, every one that goeth by it shall be astonished, and shall hiss at all the plagues thereof. And like we say, man, after all is said and done, the judgment against the land of America is for it to be destroyed completely and utterly, right, by thermonuclear destruction. All these talk of nukes, man, they're gonna get used at some point. Right, the most are gonna have them directed over at the land of America, man, until it's destroyed. as in the verse 18, as in the overthrow of Sodom and Gomorrah and the neighbor cities thereof, saith the Lord, no man shall abide there, neither shall a son of man dwell in it. All right, so we all know this great judgment. It's talking about the same thing when it speaks about Babylon receiving the same judgment. It's all about this particular place, but it isn't in either of these places. It's not in Babylon. It's not in Edom, right? In those particular lands, it's where Esau is running shit now, right? Babylon the Great, that is the land of America. So when it's speaking about Edom here, it's talking about America here, man. Right, that place of that great judgment. All right. So, you know, that's pretty much it, man. Like I said, man, the scriptures, man, it's the truth, right? And these men, you know, they're just attesting to that truth by giving these examples, man. Okay, but Esau, he fits, you know, these so-called white people fit Esau down to a T. America, you know, and everything that they've been doing. All right. So, you know, with that, I'm going to say shalom. I hope this is edifying, and I'll catch you brothers and sisters on the next one, man. So, till then, I say shalom.